Swift and Saddle was robbed. Hello, I know I'm super bright. I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix that. But I am literally uploading my Goodreads Choice Awards predictions video when they've gone and dropped it early. So I thought we could have a look and see what I predicted and what actually went on. So if you haven't seen my predictions video, I will link it so you can go check it out. But here we go. Let's go to romance. Okay, so off the top, I can see one I didn't even think of. I did not see that there at all. But it's The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. I've never heard of this book before in my life. It does have 30,000 ratings, so that's interesting. Does anyone I know read it? Lisa and Trina. I follow those two. Interesting. Okay. The Paradise Problem is on there. Play Along is on there. Not in Love is on there. So that's 3 for 4. This Could Be Us is on there. Ooh, Lies and Weddings by Kevin Kwan is on there. I didn't realize that he brought a book out. King of Sloth is on there. Swift and Saddled's on there. Funny Stories on there. A Love Song for Ricky Wilde's on there. How to End a Love Story's on there. Bride's on there. I knew Bride was going to be in there. So Ali Hazelwood actually has both of her books on there this year. Bride is a top contender. Wild Love is on there. The rom-coms are on there. Just for the Summer. The Pairing is on there. I wasn't going to put The Pairing on. I was like, I really haven't seen anyone talk about it. Leather and Lark is on there. Oh, I feel so smart. This Summer Will Be Different. The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I did not see that one coming at all. I should have though. This does have 43,000 ratings on it. Daydream's on there. Wow. 16 books I predicted. I feel so smart. Now, what's going to be the top 10? That is what's going to be interesting. But yeah, stay tuned for the vlog, I guess. It's probably going to be a very long vlog, but I'm going to go start reading now. So I just finished This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune, and I'm going to be giving it a 3.5 stars, I think. So this book is about Lucy. She lives in Toronto with, oh, not her best friend Bridget. Her best friend Bridget is getting married in like 7 days or something. Lucy owns a flower shop. She's the maid of honor, so she's a pretty busy person, right? And then she gets a call from her bestie going, I need you now. I'm home. I'm back at Prince Edward Island and I need you to drop everything and come to me. And so Lucy does, because she's her best friend. But going back to Prince Edward Island brings up a lot of these memories. So 5 years ago, the first time Lucy visited Prince Edward Island, she was supposed to be going with Bridget, but Bridget's flight was delayed a day. So Lucy shows up. She goes to this local, like, I don't know what they have, like fish shops or whatever. Meets this guy and they hit it off. And they go back to his place and they have the time of their night, right? Like time of their life. They have the best night ever. Anyway, next morning she wakes up and she's like, shit, I gotta go pick up my bestie from the airport, but I need to go drop off my stuff at her house first because she thinks they're so nice at her house, like at her parents' house. And he's like, yeah, sure. Like, what's the address? And she gives him the address. And he's like, that's this house. And then Lucy's like, oh my God, Bridget gave me 3 rules, right? 1, eat your weight in oysters. 2, leave the city behind. And 3, don't fall in love with my brother. Dude she slept with last night was her brother. Bridget's brother. They decide to keep a secret, right? And then, so this is sort of like it's not really second chance because they didn't actually do anything. This is a book with lots of layers. It's about her friendship with Bridget, but also about Lucy finding herself, and then also about her relationship with Felix, who everyone calls Wolf, by the way, because you might be thinking, how did she know this dude's name but not realize it was Bridget's brother? It's because everyone calls him Wolf and everyone calls Lucy B. But Lucy introduced herself as Lucy and Wolf introduced himself as Felix. I know. And then apparently the mum has a thing against hanging family photos on the walls. So that's how they got around that little tidbit too. So this book, it flashes back to like every time she goes to Prince Edward Island. And guess what? Every time she goes to Prince Edward Island, she ends up hooking up with Felix, but still not telling Bridget. And it keeps going to like present time. and Bridget is still being so freaking annoying, not telling anyone why she's dropped everything a week before the wedding and flown home, why she needed Bridget, who has a really important meeting for work. And I'm like, this bitch. Lucy almost lost this really good deal for her business because of her best friend being wishy-washy. I was getting really annoyed there because Lucy sounded like she really liked her job. But then, of course, it comes out she doesn't really like her job. So I was okay with that. But at the start, I was getting really annoyed, right? But then bits and pieces there, it sounded like Lucy was more in love with Bridget than she was Felix. She even says, like, I'm in love with Bridget, but just as friends. And I'm just like, girl. The first time they met, Bridget was driving past on her bicycle and saw Lucy there in need. I think she had a broken heel or something. And so she said, hop on. And so Bridget rode Lucy home while Lucy was sitting on her handlebars. How cute is that? Like, that is an epic start to a romance, not the dude cutting himself on an oyster shucker, I think. I don't know seafood, okay? It just kept going back and forth, but even in like the present day moments, she kept talking about things that happened in the past, and I was just getting quite confused. 3.5 stars. I think funny story is better. So in my rating, I can't remember what I've quite read. Oh no, I have read Bride too, hey. So Bride, I did rate 3 stars, I noticed, but I keep thinking about Bride. It was so fun. So I think that is going up to like a 4 star for me. Personally, just because of vibes, you know. So right now, out of the 3, but it goes Bride, funny story, this summer will be different. Hello. So it looks like I've lost the clip that I talked about the Paradise Problem. So I'm going to try and remember what I said, but I finished the Paradise Problem. I had so much fun with this book. I had the lowest of lows expectations for this book because I didn't like the Unhoneymooners. And if I had read the synopses for the Paradise Problem, I would have thought, oh, this is just the Unhoneymooners. But it was executed brilliantly. So the Paradise Problem is about this girl who married this boy so that she could live in this like complex for uni, right? Like it was just marriage of convenience, okay? They didn't know each other, they were just roommates, and then he left because he graduated and she's just been living life. She was working at this like corner store and then gets fired because she said no to the advances of this like 18-year-old and she's like almost 30. And she gets a knock at the front door and it's her ex-husband, right? And her ex-husband is like, hey, we're still married. I need you to come on holiday with me to my sister's wedding because our parents think our marriage is real. So they go on holiday together to like somewhere like, is it Vanuatu? I really, really enjoyed this book. The forced proximity trope, the only one bed trope, and I just really enjoyed, they had like an opposites attract sort of thing going on and I had so much fun. It was dual POV, which I absolutely adore because you could see him falling in love and what he was thinking of her, and there was moments where I was like, okay, all these rich people going onto an island. I was getting guillotine flashbacks, which was a little bit scary, but it wasn't like that. No one died. Like there was a 3rd act breakup, but it made sense for the circumstance, okay? I liked the way they got back together and I just liked seeing these grown-ass men going to therapy. Oh, I love it. I love it just so much. So yeah, this is definitely a top contender for favorite. It wasn't a full 5 stars, but it's definitely up the top there. Hello, I've got 2 books to update you with because I forgot to talk about Just for the Summer after I finished it, but I had a really fun time with it. I feel like it was more like deep and meaningful than the Paradise Problem, but I can see why everybody loves Abby Jimenez. Unfortunately, I think I probably should have read Part of Your World first. Like it's probably, you can read it by itself, but there's lots of connections to Part of Your World and even Yours Truly. Like with most interconnected standalones, other couples will show up. There's just a bit more of a relationship there, I would say. Anyway, trying to think why it's not a full 5 stars. Let me just bring up my notes. Also, I borrowed the ebook from Libby, right? And then I was going through my Kindle library and I own the ebook. So I don't know what the heck I was thinking there. Apparently I didn't highlight. I have highlighted stuff. Don't tell me I haven't. So if you don't know what Just for the Summer is about, it's about this girl who meets this guy on a Reddit thread, and her and her bestie are like travel nurses, and it was her bestie's turn to choose where they went next. But since, I'm going to say her name's like Emma, met the guy, she's like, we got to go to Minnesota. And I'm like, okay, first of all, you could have waited. Like, your bestie, you two were about to go to Hawaii and you went to Minnesota for a guy? I just don't understand that. Anyway, that's okay. It's not up to me to understand, I guess. Like, there was some nice moments and some giddy moments, but they were just I just don't think that these two should be in a relationship at this time. They both have like some things to work through. They both need to go to therapy, which is very on brand for a millennial. A lot of highlights here about trauma, which is not very fun. But yeah, so it's definitely not a 5. It's got lots of like deep and meaningful comments, and I just don't think those two work well together. But yeah, it's definitely a 4, and I don't know if I want to put it's on par with, what was it called? The Paradise Problem? Other than that, good book. I can see why everybody loves Abby Jimenez. So I just finished King of Sloth. No surprises, 5 stars. Anna Wong is just, I love her writing. And just announced she was coming back to Rare next year, so I'm very excited to meet her again and get her to sign more of my books. But holy cow, Sloane and Javier, like as soon as I was reading chapter 2, so his first chapter in his POV, I knew he was down bad. He was down bad. So good. She kept being called the Ice Queen, but I was thinking Elsa the whole time I was reading this book. Like, those two work well together. Compared to some of the other couples in this vlog, those two definitely work well together. And it really was an ode to rom-coms. So if you haven't read any of the Kings of Sin series, Sloane is a rom-com hater, right? She will watch rom-coms to review them because she hates them. She hate watches them. There was so many things in this book. You got a 10 things I hate about you moment where she gets drunk and dances on a table, and then he takes care of her afterwards. And then you've got the meeting at the Empire State Building at midnight, but she's running there, but there's a parade on, so she has to find a different way, and just, I had so much fun. Could it be higher than Swift and Saddled? I don't know. It is currently the 22nd. No, it's the 24th of November right now. So the first round of voting has been closed, but we do find out the top 10 in 2 days. So I am excited to find out what I'm going to be reading next. All right. Hello. It is time to find out who the top 10 finalists are for the Goodreads Choice Awards romance category. I'll give you an update. I have currently read 7 of the 20. Funny Story, Paradise Problem, King of Sloth, Bride. This summer will be different. Just for the Summer. There was a 7th one, but I can't remember what it is now. Oh, Swift and Saddled. And I am currently reading Wild Love. So let's hope all 8 of those are on this top 10. Otherwise, I'm not going to be upset. I was hoping to minimize what I was going to read, but that's okay. Let's have a look and see what's on the top 10 for romance. Okie dokie. So we've got Bride. Yep. Funny Story. The Paradise Problem. The Summer Will Be Different. I've read those 4. Play Along. I haven't read that. Just for the Summer. King of Sloth. Leather and Lark. Wild Love. And the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Swift and Saddle's not on there. What? That's fucked. Honestly, that is so fucked. And I didn't want to read the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Why is that there? So what did I read that's not on there? Looks like Swift and Saddle's the only one not on there. That is disappointing. That one was it's been an emotional day, so I can kind of see why I'm tearing up. I really didn't see Cinnamon Bun Bookstore having a chance, to be quite honest with you. Okay, I guess I gotta try and find it now. I don't know, because I don't think it's on KU. And do I have to read the first one first? I don't want to pay $10 for it. Anyway, it's okay. Swift and Saddle will always be top tier in my heart. But that really means I need to knuckle down because this finishes on the 1st, I think, or the 2nd for me. So that is in a week's time to read Play Along, Leather and Lark, and Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. And we knew Funny Story was going to be on there. We knew pretty much at least 6 of those books were going to be on there. All right, let's do this. Hi, sorry I haven't updated in a while, but I have finished reading the rest of the books for this video. So let's talk about it. I think last time I talked to you, I was reading Wild Love by Elsie Silver. And I don't know what she puts in those books, man, but I ate it up. 5 out of 5 stars. I love the romance, okay? I don't know what it is about it. I just love the small town vibes. I think I really do like a male main character who is down bad for the female main character. So yeah, this was about Ford and Rosie. So Ford is Willa's brother. So Willa Grant you met in Heartless. And so Ford is her brother. And he is like the world's sexiest billionaire or whatever, right? And he has come to his hometown and he is setting up a recording studio because he wants to start like producing music, right? So Ford is doing that and he's hanging out with his bestie. Wild Love is also brother's best friend romance because Ford's bestie has a little sister called Rosie and she's just had a weird situation happen. So she comes back home and that's where she re-meets Ford again. She starts working for him. So that you do have that bit of like a power imbalance dynamic there, but he's always been like down bad for her, so that's why he gave her the job, so pretty much. This whole series is single dad romances. Now, Ford doesn't have any kids. So I was like, how is this single dad? Turns out, a long time ago, like 12 years ago, he donated some sperm for like $100. And now 12 years later, this girl comes to his house and is like, hey, my dad just died and my mum's so depressed she can't look after herself or me. You're my only other like living relative. Can I have some help? Like, that is such a weird situation, but I had to look past it. I know it's like not real life. Like that would never happen, but still. So he starts looking after her. He like helps her put the mum in like, not really a rehab, but just like a center that helps people with their mental health pretty much. And he starts like, he sets her up to go to school and stuff. And she was such a blast. I really love reading like kids who are older because they do understand a bit more what's happening. They're not all just like, I like her because she's pretty. And yeah, I really did like the relationship between her and Rosie. And Rosie is a wildcracker. She definitely reminded me of Willa, which is not weird, okay? Just pretend I didn't say that. This definitely is top contender. I knew Anna Wang and Elsie Silver were going to be the two like top ones for me ever since Lila Sage got kicked out, which is quite rude if you ask me. I had a blast with Wild Love and I'm very excited to pick up the next one. I then read Play Along by Liz Tomforty. Now, I know I just said I love a male main character who is down bad, but he didn't really know her. So pretty much you've got Kennedy and Isaiah. So Kennedy comes to this baseball team to become like a second in charge doctor anyway. At the job interview, the head doctor is quite sexist and didn't realize that Kennedy was a woman. And so when he found out, he said, oh, sorry, that position's already taken. You can be like one of the trainers or whatever. So she takes it because she needs the job and she kind of wants to work up to like become a doctor anyway. Like she's been to university, she's done all the degrees, she is a qualified doctor, but she wants to earn it in her own right sort of thing. And so Isaiah overhears all that, right? And he's like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. I love her. She's going to be my wife. And then he sees her engagement ring. So he still pines for her for like 3 to 4 years. He doesn't know anything about her because she doesn't hang out with the team except on game days when she's doing her job. And he is still so down bad. I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. I understand like Sloane and Javier's perspective because they work so close together. They know pretty much everything about each other before they were even like romantic, right? And then even with like Ford and Rosie, they grew up together. They were like childhood friends to lovers sort of thing. This one is literally, he's like, she's so hot, I am going to marry her even though she might have already engaged sort of thing. And then one night, yeah, like 3 or 4 years later, they meet in Vegas. They're both drunk. She is not engaged anymore. Her sister is actually marrying her ex-fiance, which is a weird trope that's happened twice now. Because that happened in King of Sloth too. She's gotten really mad and she's drunk and she meets Isaiah and they go have a wedding in Las Vegas. I found that really, like, it's just a really weird premise. And he's like really respectable about it. He's like, look, we didn't do anything. Like, I was super drunk too. I kept asking you if you wanted to do it and you kept saying yes. And so it's about them working together as a married couple while also trying to figure out maybe there is something between them. There was some points where I really did like Isaiah. I really liked the family. I wish I'd read Mile High first and the other books first because I feel like I would have gotten a better understanding and about the dynamic of all of the cast in this book. But yeah, I really enjoyed the family moments with Isaiah and him like inviting Kennedy into that because she didn't really have a childhood or a family growing up. So her coming into his family was really nice. I really did like that. And there was just some cringy moments, but all in all, I had a really good time with this one. This one is 4 stars for me. I'll talk about Leather and Luck and then I'll tell you my ratings for the top 10 and we can go from there. So yes, I picked up Leather and Luck again and I fell in love. I think definitely reading it with my eyeballs this time definitely helped because I tried listening to it when it first came out and I was just like not a fan. But I did really like Lark and Lachlan's dynamic. This is another marriage of convenience. I think there was 3 marriage of conveniences I read for this list. I think I'm kind of worn out of this trope right now. I will probably pick it up later, but no more please. No more for me. I'm not a fan because especially when they're drunk. Lark and Lachlan were not drunk. They had a really... So pretty much Lachlan is a contracted killer, right? And Lark is a serial killer, but he doesn't know that. Lark's family doesn't know that either, but both of Lark's parents, well, her mum and her stepdad, both are really prominent like business owners of their own like very separate businesses, but they do shady things in the background, which is how Lachlan connects into it, right? Now, Lark finds out that Lachlan might have a target on his back because of her family. And she doesn't want Sloane and Rowan to get in the middle of it because they just got married. They're happy there. And because Lachlan is Rowan's brother, like she doesn't want her family to like be looking into that, right? She propositions Lachlan. And they have a rough backstory because Lachlan was once called out on a job to clean up this ditzy girl. He never knew who it was. But then the next year at a Halloween party, Lachlan and Lark kind of get it on, and then Lark realizes that Lachlan is the guy who locked her in a trunk. So they just have a rocky start, but Lark is like, look, no, I need to get over that because I want to save my friend's life, sort of thing. I really did like these two. I like the way he sort of just looked out for her once they did start getting, like, once they got married. It was also super funny too. I think Lark is a really funny girl. Yeah, I did enjoy their relationship, and I definitely think this is one, if you couldn't get through the audio, definitely pick up the physical book. It did end on a cliffhanger though, not for Lark and Lachlan, but definitely for Rose and Fionn for the next book. I am kind of scared. But this book, Lachlan and Lark both like a little butt play, and there actually was a expert of an audiobook because Lachlan listens to romance novels to try and like figure out how to romance Lark pretty much. And he was listening, like an audiobook starts playing in the Bluetooth, and it was some butt stuff was happening, and it was actually from a real book, Death's Obsession by Avina St. Graves, who is going to Babe. So I'm going to pick that up and see like who else picked up this book because of Leather and Lark. But yeah, I love a good pegging scene, and I'm glad that they did include that in this book. Like, don't just touch the butt stuff. Like, you gotta commit to the butt stuff, you know? So yes, those are all the books that I read for the Goodreads Choice Awards. I haven't seen who's won yet. I've been very patient, so I thought we could do that together. But before we do that, I did not read Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I'm just not interested in it right now. And to be honest, I haven't heard like anyone talk about it, so I don't know why it was top 10, which is okay. I might just not be in that circle. I'm just gonna pretend that Swift and Saddled was there instead of Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Okie dokie. So my order be probably Wild Love #1, and then King of Sloth, and then I'm gonna put the Paradise Problem next, and then Leather and Lark, and then Just for the Summer, and then Play Along, and then Bride, and then Funny Story, and then This Summer Will Be Different. So that's my order of enjoyment and ratings for the top 10 Goodreads Choice Awards in the romance section. So let's now find out together, well, you've probably already seen it, but I'm going to find out now what the actual order is. Let's go. Like I said, I think Funny Story is going to be the winner, and then it'll be Just for the Summer, and then maybe either the Elsie Silver or the Christina Lauren. Oh, there we go. Funny Story 1. What a surprise. Alrighty, let's have a look. Whoa! That is not how I thought it was going to go at all. Well, Funny Story was first, and then it was Just for the Summer. I had that. I totally forgot that Bride was very popular. So it was Bride, and then it was Leather and Lark, and then it was Play Along, and then King of Sloth, and then Wild Love, and then Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and then the Paradise Problem. Paradise Problem was so good, by the way. I don't know why people... But yeah, This Summer Will Be Different was the bottom. That was my bottom too. And let's just not talk about it. Wow, that is very different to what I thought it was going to be. But yeah, Just for the Summer was really close to it. Funny Story got 179,000 votes, where Just for the Summer got 140,000. That's obviously rigged. Obviously. How people thought... I see a lot of people love on Liz Tomforty. I'm happy that Leather and Lark got up so high, because for some reasoning I thought not a lot of people liked it. But yeah, I am happy with that, other than Funny Story. Like, that should just piss off. But yeah. So that was that. Thank you so much for coming along this ride. Had a lot of fun. I was a bit burnt out by romance. Not burnt out, I would say, because I kept reading romances. I've started the holiday romances now. But yeah, by the end of it, I felt like a lot of things were just the same story, just different names. You could tell like some authors definitely have their own spin on things, but yeah, just the romance genre as a whole, it is very formulaic, and some books are very just run on tropes, and maybe if I had read them in a different order, I might have enjoyed it differently. Who knows? But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you did get to the end of this video, pop any sort of romance emoji that you want in the comments below if you have nothing else to say. And I had a lot of fun with this. I now need to go edit this video, which I'm not looking forward to, but it's gonna be okay. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos by me. You can also add me on Goodreads, Instagram, and Storygraph. It's just at @SashReads. But yeah, if you read any of these romance books, let me know down below what your #1 pick would be. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow for another Bookmas video. Bye!